3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Bean Gaming. The update was just... Wait a minute. Where am I? What the... Where did I go? Where are all these people? What? How are they through the wall? Wait a second. There we are. We're on the other side. Let's go. No, that's not me. Look at all these people. I think we're all in timeout. There's Bunsy. Finally made it up there. I can't even read these other names because they're all crunched together, but we're facing the wall. I guess we're in timeout except Junior here is Space Cadet. Look at that amazing Bean Gaming t-shirt. Like, let's go. Only 10 Robux if you join my Bean Gaming Roblox group. But anyway, what's the deal with these new enchants? I mean, people are kind of going nuts about them, and are they really better? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. And where can you go and check those new enchants out? Well, of course, you have to go to the unit workshop, hop on over the picnic table. Don't do that. Oh, look at all the people that are already on the enchant units. And you scroll on down here. We have Overclocked, we have Vengeance. That one's been around, obviously. And then Springlock. So Overclock, Springlock, and I thought there was one more. Maybe it's just those two. Yeah, these two were added in there. And I know people have been going crazy over the new Springlock, and let's take a look. Springlock is 250 damage. Look at that, compared to the 125% damage increase with Vengeance. Vengeance has a 35% range increase, but Springlock has an 80% range increase, but Springlock actually has a 30% slower cooldown, where Vengeance has a 20% cooldown. Actually, I misspoke. 30% added on to the cooldown, where Vengeance has a 20% cooldown taken off of the original cooldown. Overclocked, a 0.03%, has 50% damage increase, 50% range, and a 33% cooldown. So we're going to take a look at all three, compare all three, and see which one is going to be best for you and for your team. And to do that, we're going to use the Bean Gaming Calculator of Calculations. Here we go. Before we head on over to the Bean Gaming Calculator of Calculations, I forgot. I want to show you the drop chance calculator for getting each one of the new enchants. Well, the first one, which is Overclocked, that one is a 0.03% chance of getting. That's a 1 in 3,333 chance. And if you take a look at these items here, at the different run chances, well, you need, in order to guarantee the 0.03, then you need, now this is to pretty much guarantee, okay, based off the standard normal curve, a 99% confidence interval, you need about 15,000 rolls. If you're lucky, you obviously get it a little bit sooner than that. A 90% confidence interval is going to be a little bit over 7,000, about 7.5 thousand roughly, in order to get that 0.03. So that's for Overclocked. And then Springlock, that's the same percentage as Vengeance. So we're going to change that to a 0.01 here. That's a 1 in 10,000 chance, which means that in order to statistically guarantee it, according to the standardized normal curve, you need about 46,000 souls and about a 90% confidence interval, which is usually kind of on par. You need about 23. And I mean, typically you say about 10,000, a little bit over 10,000 souls. Of course, you can get it much sooner. You get lucky here and there. But you want to think about how many souls you want to use for getting each one of these. Now, most people are going to try and bounce between Vengeance and Springlock, but which one actually is going to be better? Because I've been hearing and watching people just go crazy for the new Springlock, and we got to figure this thing out. So we got to give you the right information. And now we're going to head on over to the Bean Gaming Calculator of Calcification. Here we go. Last night, the Royal Prophet, one of my community members, reached out to me and said, Bean, here's all the new updated stats. Which one's going to be good to go for the new enchants? And he ran the stats for me, and I took a look at them, and he said, you know, make sure you get this out to the people because they've got to know what they do in total. Because when you take a look at Overclock, the 50% damage and the 33% cooldown, of course it does 50% range. That may not be better than Vengeance, or vice versa. If you take a look at Springlock, Springlock does 250 damage increase, where Vengeance is only 125% damage increase, but it's the cooldown that's going to make the difference, and of course the range on there. So there's going to be units that Vengeance is going to be better, Springlock's going to be better, but in general, Vengeance is still going to be better. And for me personally, I'm keeping Vengeance on everything. I'm not trying to get Springlock right now because, I mean, my team can beat every single map. It can beat every single Endless. And unless you're probably trying to play player versus player, I don't know. I don't think you need to go crazy on Springlock unless Spring Glock. Why did I say Spring Clock? Spring Glock because it's just, I don't know. That's a lot of souls, but it's up to you. You know, you got to play around with it and see what you want to do. But anyways, let's show you the multiplier that's going on here. And he gave me the stats, but I want to show you how it actually works. So let's start off with Vengeance because that's what we originally had before this update. 125% damage and a 20% cooldown. So here's what we do. I have V for Vengeance here. And let's just say that you have a unit that has a health of, or that has a damage of 1. We're going to keep the numbers very basic. And so to work out the damage per second, what you do is you take your overall damage increase, which is 125, and then you actually have to decrease the cooldown by 0.2. It's a 20% cooldown, like so. Don't forget to put the decimal point in there. This is 100% plus 1.25% increase, and because this is a percentage, you multiply by 100. Of course, you get rid of the percentage. This is the multiplier that you use to obtain the new damage per second. So if your unit has originally 100 damage, its new damage is going to be 281. If you have a unit that has 1200 damage, then its new damage per second is going to be 3,375. So this is the damage per second calculator. So again, this is for Vengeance. I'll do V for Vengeance. It's a 2.8125 multiplier. It's a 181.25% change. Okay, now let's take a look at, what's the next one? Let's take a look at Overclocked. Overclock is 50% damage, 33% cooldown. And now we're going to do a 50% damage increase. So let's change this to 0.5. And then the cooldown is actually a little bit better than Vengeance. It's a 0.33. It might be 0.33 repeating, but still, take a look here. It's a 2.23 880597015 multiplier. So you would expect Vengeance to be better here, and it actually is. But the range is 50% compared to Vengeance's 35% range. So that's where you might want to consider Overclock if you want a little bit better range. Of course, Spring Glock is going to have the best range of all, but still, just throwing that out there. Okay, now for Spring Glock. Spring Glock has a 250% damage increase. So 250 right there. It's 2.5. Take a look at that multiplier. Isn't that awesome? Oh, but wait a minute. It's a 30% increase in the cooldown. So let's change this to 0.3 and then change this subtraction to addition. And take a look right there. It's a 2.69. To almost a 2.7 multiplier effect, which is slightly less than Vengeance. So, I mean, you're at about essentially a 12% difference there in damage per second, which, on, like I said before, on your normal units, you're probably going to want to keep Vengeance. You know what I'm saying? I know that Overclocked has an 80% range increase, and that's really good, but at the same time, you're going to be sacrificing 12% DPS, which is pretty big, especially on high damage units. So really, you want to play with that, and I think I'm going to do a video later where we're going to try and figure out what units are going to be best on these, on Spring Glock and on Overclocked. That way you can get the right information. I have my stats team working on that right now, but at the same time, just know that for most units, Vengeance is going to be better. Now, if you have a booster unit, that 80% range is going to be what you kind of want, but you still have Puppet's Nightmare. There's nothing wrong with Puppet's Nightmare. It does a 50% range increase. And even Overclocked is a 50% range increase. And most people are going to carry... what is it? What unit is it? It's the Frostbite Freddy? No, not Frostbite Freddy. We have it's Star Drop, right? Our Star Drop is going to give us, and especially if you have a shiny, it's going to give you a 70% range increase, but even the normal Star Drop is going to give you a 35% range increase. So you technically don't need to hunt out these new enchants. It's just, you know, because otherwise you're going to have to get the range, the Spring Glock on every single one of your units for the range, where if you just bring a range booster like Moondrop, it's just, you know, I don't know. So, like I said before, for me personally, I'm going to go ahead and keep Vengeance on my units. There's really no need at all for me to change anything unless once I figure out what units that I want to try and get them on. So just wanted to throw that out there, share this to the people, and kind of go from there. But let me know, what do you think? What's going to work best for you? What's going to be kind of the best units for your Spring Glock, for Overclock, and for Vengeance? I'm not changing anything. Maybe one's going to be advantageous in player versus player, but besides that, I honestly don't even really see a need for them right now. But it is kind of cool that the developers put these new enchants in there. I guess give us some variety, if you will. But for me, nothing is going to change. So just wanted to share this with everyone, and hopefully I was able to help. And so if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.